she's still up there! Oh my God!
Welcome back to Cinema Secrets, where we dive deep into the hidden stories behind your favorite shows and movies. Today, we're heading to Bel-Air to uncover 20 bizarre facts about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that will completely change how you watch this beloved 90s sitcom. From improvised moments that became iconic to behind-the-scenes drama that nearly ended careers, these secrets have been hiding in plain sight for over 3 decades. So grab your backwards cap and get ready to discover the wild truth about Will Smith's breakout show. Let's get started. Fact 1. The pool hall hustle scene. In the episode where Will hustles pool players, the scene was actually filmed at a real pool hall in downtown Los Angeles. But Will Smith had never played pool before in his life. The producers hired a professional pool player to stand just off camera and guide Smith's shots using a complex system of mirrors and hand signals. What you see on screen as Will's confident swagger was actually him desperately trying to follow the instructor's directions while maintaining character. The actor playing his opponent was also a complete beginner, which explains why their game looks so awkward when you watch it closely. This led to over 40 takes of the final winning shot, with crew members getting increasingly frustrated as the day dragged on into overtime. Fact 2. Carlton's dance emergency. The famous Carlton dance wasn't choreographed. It was Alfonso Ribeiro's panic response when he forgot his actual scripted dance moves during the first taping. The scene called for Carlton to perform a sophisticated ballroom routine at a country club event, but Ribeiro's mind went completely blank when the music started. Instead of stopping, he improvised the bizarre arm movements and hip swings that would become iconic. The audience erupted in laughter, and the director loved it so much, they rewrote future episodes to include more opportunities for the dance. Ribeiro later admitted he was mortified at the time and thought he'd ruined his career with what he considered an embarrassing mistake that exposed his lack of formal dance training. Fact 3. The mansion's secret identity. The Banks family mansion exterior shots were actually filmed at a house owned by a real Beverly Hills family who had no idea their home would become one of TV's most recognizable locations. The homeowners only agreed to let the crew film the outside, never the interior, which is why all indoor scenes were shot on completely different sound stages. The real family lived in the house throughout the show's entire 6-year run, often dealing with fans showing up at their door, expecting to meet the Banks family. They eventually had to hire private security and install taller gates. The interior layout of the TV house doesn't match the real mansion at all, creating continuity errors that sharp-eyed viewers still point out today. Fact 4. Will's wardrobe malfunction strategy. Will Smith's character's oversized clothing wasn't a fashion choice. It was a clever solution to hide the fact that Smith was rapidly gaining muscle mass from his intense workout regimen during the early seasons. The costume department noticed that his shirts and jackets were getting increasingly tight, but rather than constantly alter his wardrobe, they decided to embrace the baggy look as part of his Philadelphia street style. This backfired in one episode where Smith's shirt was so loose that it kept falling off his shoulder during takes requiring the costume team to use hidden safety pins and tape to keep everything in place. The wardrobe malfunction became a running gag behind the scenes, with crew members betting on how many pins would be needed each day. Fact 5. Vivian's mysterious disappearance scene. In the episode where Aunt Vivian temporarily leaves the family, the scene where she's packing her bags was actually filmed because the original actress Janet Hubert was having a real dispute with producers and temporarily walked off set. The writers quickly crafted a story explanation, but Hubert's emotional performance in the packing scene was genuinely her expressing frustration with the show's direction. She was actually packing her real belongings, thinking she might not return. The tears were real, and her angry dialogue with Uncle Phil contained thinly veiled references to her actual contract negotiations. This scene became one of the most emotionally powerful moments in the series, but viewers had no idea they were watching genuine behind-the-scenes drama unfold on camera. Fact 6. The kitchen table psychology sessions. The frequent heart-to-heart conversations between Will and Uncle Phil at the kitchen table weren't scripted as extensively as they appeared. James Avery and Will Smith would often improvise these moments, with Avery drawing on his real-life experience as a mentor to young actors. The kitchen set became an unofficial therapy space where Smith would sometimes break character to ask Avery for genuine life advice. These authentic moments of connection were so powerful that writers began crafting entire episodes around the kitchen table dynamic. Avery kept a notebook of their conversations and would reference previous discussions to maintain emotional continuity between episodes, creating an unexpectedly deep psychological through-line in what was primarily a comedy show. Fact 7. Jeffrey's Secret Rebellion. The butler Jeffrey's sarcastic one-liners were mostly improvised by actor Joseph Marcel, who was actually expressing his real frustration with being typecast as a subservient character. Marcel, a classically trained Shakespearean actor, felt his talents were being wasted on simple butler duties, so he began adding subtle, rebellious zingers to his dialogue. The writers loved these additions so much, they began writing more scenes specifically for Jeffrey's wit. However, Marcel's improvised insults were sometimes so cutting that they had to be toned down in post-production. His most savage line was directed at Carlton and was so harsh that Alfonso Ribeiro broke character laughing, but it was deemed too mean for the family-friendly show and never aired. Fact 8. The college application breakdown. In the episode where Carlton has a breakdown over college applications, Alfonso Ribeiro was actually having his own real-life anxiety about his post-Fresh Prince career prospects. The scene where Carlton frantically sorts through rejection letters was filmed during a period when Ribeiro was genuinely worried about being typecast and struggling to book other roles. His emotional performance was so raw because he was channeling his actual fears about his future in Hollywood. The other actors were unaware of his personal struggles during filming, thinking he was just delivering an exceptional performance. This method acting approach created one of the series' most genuine moments, but it left Ribeiro emotionally drained and requiring actual counseling sessions with the show's on-set therapist afterward. Fact 9. The tennis club infiltration. The episode where Will tries to fit in at an exclusive tennis club was filmed at a real country club whose members had no idea they were being satirized on national television. The club's actual members appear as background extras, genuinely believing they were participating in a positive portrayal of their lifestyle. Their authentic reactions to Will's character created unintentionally hilarious moments of real cultural clash. The club later tried to sue the production when they realized how they were being portrayed, but their contracts as extras prevented any legal action. Some members claimed they were misled about the show's comedic intent and felt their reputations were damaged by association with what they perceived as mockery of their social status and values. Fact 10. The Peacock Network panic. During the episode where the family watches a TV show together, they're actually watching a real NBC competitor's program, which created behind-the-scenes panic when network executives realized what was happening. The scene was filmed before anyone checked what was playing on the TV screen, and by the time executives saw the footage, it was too expensive to reshoot. NBC had to negotiate with the rival network for permission to air their competitors' content, leading to an unprecedented inter-network agreement. The incident resulted in new protocols requiring all on-screen media to be pre-approved by network censors. This bureaucratic nightmare delayed the episode's air date by several weeks and created tension between the show's producers and network executives that lasted for the remainder of the season. Fact 11. The charity auction chaos. The charity auction episode featured real Beverly Hills socialites who bid actual money on props they thought were genuine antiques. The production team had filled the auction with fake valuable items, but several wealthy attendees didn't realize they were participating in a fictional TV show scene. One woman bid $15,000 on what she believed was an authentic Ming vase, which was actually a $20 prop from a Hollywood warehouse. When she discovered the truth, she demanded her money back and threatened legal action. The production company had to hire lawyers and eventually compensated several bidders who felt deceived. This incident led to stricter rules about informed consent when filming with non-actor participants and changed how reality-adjacent scenes were produced throughout the industry. Fact 12. The Jazz Club investigation. The Jazz Club scenes were filmed at a venue that was actually under FBI investigation for money laundering, though the production crew was unaware of this at the time. Federal agents were conducting surveillance during filming, leading to confusion when they tried to determine which people were actors and which were potential suspects. The FBI had to coordinate with the production to avoid interfering with their investigation while allowing filming to continue. Several crew members were questioned as potential witnesses, and background extras were run through federal databases. The venue was raided 3 weeks after filming wrapped, and some of the club's real patrons who appeared in the background were later arrested in connection with the criminal investigation. Fact 13. The Midnight Kitchen Raid. The scene where Will and Carlton sneak down to the kitchen for midnight snacks was filmed during actual late-night hours, but the actors were so tired they kept forgetting their lines and improvising food-related dialogue instead. What appears as natural banter was actually exhausted actors making up conversations about whatever food props were available. The refrigerator was stocked with expired items from previous episodes, leading to several takes being ruined when actors reacted to unexpectedly spoiled food. Will Smith's disgusted expression when biting into what was supposed to be fresh fruit was genuine revulsion at moldy grapes. The scene took 6 hours to film, what should have been a simple 2-minute sequence with craft services having to constantly replace the deteriorating food props throughout the night. Fact 14. The school play sabotage. During the episode featuring Ashley's school play, the child actors from the real elementary school being used as a location were so excited about being on TV, that they kept trying to upstage the main cast. The young performers would intentionally flub their lines to get more takes and extend their time on camera, not understanding that this was creating expensive production delays. One particularly ambitious 8-year-old rewrote her lines to give herself a larger speaking role, causing confusion when she delivered completely different dialogue than what was in the script. The director had to implement a reward system with candy and small toys to maintain order, essentially bribing children to stick to the original script and stop trying to become stars overnight. Fact 15. The shopping mall adventure. The mall episode was filmed at a real shopping center during business hours, but the production company failed to properly inform all the store managers about the filming schedule. Many shops remained open and continued serving actual customers while cameras were rolling, creating a bizarre mix of reality and fiction. Real shoppers kept wandering into shots thinking the actors were just unusually well-dressed mall visitors. Store employees had to be briefed mid-scene about not staring at the cameras, and several had to sign impromptu release forms when they accidentally became part of the action. The mall's security team spent the day chasing down confused customers who wanted autographs from actors who were trying to stay in character during active filming. Fact 16. The dating disaster documentation. The episode where Will's date goes horribly wrong was based on Will Smith's actual disastrous real-life date with a fan who had won a contest to meet him. The writers incorporated embarrassing details from Smith's genuine experience, including the awkward restaurant conversation and the misunderstanding about the evening's expectations. Smith was initially reluctant to recreate his personal humiliation for national television, but eventually agreed when the writers promised to exaggerate the circumstances enough that the real person wouldn't be recognizable. The actress playing the date was unaware she was reenacting a real event and kept asking Smith why his performance seemed so emotionally authentic. The episode became a therapeutic exercise for Smith, who later said it helped him process the embarrassing experience through comedy. Fact 17. The graduation speech improvisation. Uncle Phil's emotional graduation speech was completely improvised by James Avery, who had forgotten to memorize the scripted version and decided to speak from the heart instead. His moving words about family responsibility and growing up were genuine thoughts he wanted to share with the younger cast members, who had become like family to him over the years. The other actors' emotional reactions were real responses to Avery's unexpected sincerity, and several crew members were moved to tears during filming. The original scripted speech was much shorter and more comedic, but Avery's version was so powerful that it was kept in its entirety. This improvised moment became one of the series' most quoted and beloved scenes, though viewers never knew it was completely unplanned and unrehearsed. Fact 18. The dance competition conspiracy. The dance competition episode featured real dancers who were told they were competing for actual prize money, not realizing they were just background performers in a scripted show. The competition was genuine until the final round, when the script called for Carlton to win despite not being the best dancer. The real competitors were confused and frustrated when the obviously inferior performer was declared the winner, leading to behind-the-scenes arguments and accusations of rigging. Production assistants had to explain the nature of television filming to angry dancers who felt they had been cheated out of legitimate victory. Several participants demanded compensation beyond their standard extra fees, claiming they had been misled about the nature of the competition and their chances of winning. Fact 19. The family photo fiasco. The seemingly simple scene of the family taking a portrait required 127 takes because the actors could not stop laughing at James Avery's improvised facial expressions. Each time the photographer said, "Say cheese," Avery would make an increasingly ridiculous face that sent the other cast members into uncontrollable giggling fits. What should have been a quick transitional scene turned into a 4-hour comedy marathon with the crew joining in the laughter and making the situation even more chaotic. The final version used in the show was actually take number 128, and even then you can see the other actors struggling to maintain their composure. The outtakes from this session became legendary among the cast and crew, though they were never released to the public due to their completely unprofessional nature. Fact 20. The series finale secret. The emotional final episode contained a hidden message that only became clear when viewed in reverse chronological order with the pilot episode. The writers embedded subtle callbacks and references that created a circular narrative structure, but this Easter egg was so obscure that even most cast members didn't realize it existed. Eagle-eyed fans eventually discovered that certain dialogue patterns, visual motifs, and character positions were deliberately mirrored between the first and last episodes, creating a sophisticated storytelling technique that went completely unnoticed during the original broadcast. This hidden layer of meaning was the writer's gift to devoted fans who might someday watch the series multiple times, though. It took nearly a decade for anyone to publicly document the pattern and share the discovery online. Those were 20 incredible secrets hiding behind one of television's most beloved sitcoms. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air gave us so much more than laughs. It gave us genuine human moments, improvised magic, and behind-the-scenes chaos that somehow created television gold. Which fact surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and let us know what other shows you'd like us to investigate next.